Yo, what's up? I'm Connor Proto, and today we're going to be taking a look at a new Vanguard that just came out with Set 8. It's been available in Deer Days for a little bit as a Deer Days exclusive Vanguard. I'm of course talking about Hellfire Dragon, Wirbel Dragon, a card so strong they had to put dragon in the name twice. This card is a ton of fun. It has some mechanics that are unique to it, and it can be pretty aggressive. So, taking a look at the Vanguard, Wirbel is a 13k base power, pretty standard stuff. Auto, Vanguard Circle, at the beginning of your main phase, Energy Charge 3. Act ability, Energy Blast 3, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. If you did not retire a card, this unit gets plus 5k until end of turn. And if your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, it gets plus 10k instead of plus 5. That does not have a once per turn either, so as much energy as you have, you can just keep on blasting. Next, it has a once per turn. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked. If you energy blast 6 or more total for the cost of this unit's abilities this turn, counterblast 1, stand this unit, and it gets drive -2 until end of turn. Then you can soul blast 1 card with the same name as this unit, and this unit gets drive +1 until end of turn. So essentially your first turn you can restand, but you do not get the extra drive. Next turn, assuming you Persona Road, you can Soul Blast out Wirbel and get that 1 extra drive, giving you 3 drive checks on a restanding Vanguard, which is pretty neat. So starting off, we're going to take a look at the ride line. It's pretty standard. I did choose to run the Wirbel ride line because I actually do really like it. I think it works well with the deck. The grade 0 can be whatever you want it to be. I run Sunrise Egg because he's just a little guy and I love him. Going into the grade 1, we have Demonic Dragon Mage Gyoko. When this unit's rode upon by Drag Raider Ozar, Energy Blast 3, draw a card, choose one of your Vanguards, it gets plus 5k till end of turn. You typically want to save the energy for your Vanguard, but you can afford the extra 3, especially if you went second, to draw a card and make your Vanguard a 15k swing without any boosters. Looking at the grade 2, Drag Raider Ozar. When its unit's rode upon by a grade 3 card with Wirbel and its card name, choose one of your Vanguards, and the cost of that unit's original auto abilities are reduced by CB1 until end of turn. This card is great because you do want to try and negate as much early game damage as possible so that you can eat a little bit more in the grade 3 turns. So being able to stay at 0 damage and still restand is very nice. It also lets you sink your CB into some of the other units in this deck instead. And then, of course, the grade 3, we just went over. The Energy Charge 3 main phase, you can EB3 retire unit, get power if you don't, and then CB1 to restand. If there's a Wirbel and Soul, you can Soul Blast it out to get drive +1 on restand. Going into the main deck, we're going to start with the grade 1s. We are running 4 copies of Stealth Fiend Shinri. This is in here for 2 reasons. One is this card doesn't inherently have a lot of card draw, and 2, this deck needs Soul. You have a restanding booster for your Vanguard that requires a Soul Blast, and then you also want to save your Wirbel Soul to Soul Blast out for the drive +1. So Shinri is a grade 1 8k power. When this unit boosts, if your opponent has 1 or less rear guards or you played an order this turn, this unit gets plus 5k till end of that battle, and then into that battle, put this unit into Soul and draw a card. So it's really good for early game pressure. And then going into your grade 3 turns, you should be playing in order every turn, so she will be live even if you don't retire everything. If it does come down to it though, Wirbel can usually get them down to 1 rear guard if they don't have a full board. But more often than not, you're going to be proccing her off of the orders that we play. For our next grade 1, we run 4 copies of Dragator Nurmin. Yeah, I said that right. This is a new card that just came out in set 8. This card's amazing. If you play Dragon Empire, please pick up a playset. I think they're going for like 10 a piece right now. This card's probably going to be a staple in a lot of decks, or at least useful in a lot of decks. I know right now JP Shiranuis are running 2 of them in a lot of the lists I saw. So it's worth picking up, even though it is one of the pricier new cards in this deck. So, it is a grade 1 8k power. When this unit is placed on rearguard circle, counterblast 1, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 grade 3 or greater card from among them, reveal it, put it into hand, and shuffle the deck. If you do not reveal a card, countercharge. So you can grab any grade 3 card. Persona Ride, Drag Resonance, Regalis Piece. If it's a grade 3, you can grab it. There are no restrictions. It just says a grade 3 or greater card. This card's insane. You can see why it's, going for around 10 or so a pop. It's just such a good generic. But this is what we're going to use to dig for either the Order or Persona Ride, depending on what we need. If you don't want to run her, you can also run Justina in her slot, the Order dumper for Dragon Empire. I like this one better because I have the flexibility of choosing Persona Ride or Order depending on what I need. But if you don't want to purchase these, or if you just really like Justina better, that's also a viable option for this slot. Next, we have the first named support for Wirbel. This is Mass Bullets of Duststorm Iverness. I'm probably saying that wrong. Please forgive me. I am illiterate. Card game players cannot read after all. Continuous. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Wirbel in its card name, this card gets all the following. Auto. When this unit is placed on rearguard from hand, energy charge 3, and you cannot activate the act abilities of energy generator till end of turn. So essentially when you play it, you get to energy charge 3 more, you get to do your Vanguard skill again. Whether that means retiring more stuff or scaling his power up, you get to run it back again. His second ability is when this unit boosts, this unit gets plus 5k till end of that battle, so it's a 13k booster. If this unit is boosting a grade 3 or greater unit with Wirbel in its card name, at the end of that battle, Soul Blast 1 and stand this unit. So this is a unit that we do want some soul for. You typically want to restand the 13k booster behind your Vanguard. Although if it comes down to it and you only have the one Wirbel in soul, you definitely want to soul blast it for the extra drive check over restanding him. But he's a 13k booster who gets energy charge 3 on place so that you can either scale your power up or retire more of your opponent's rear guards. Insane card. Opening him gives you an insane first grade 3 turn, especially if your opponent only has 1 or 2 units on the board. Next, we're running 4 copies of Kogaflan. This deck, again, does not have a lot of card draw, so we got to get cyclers in here. Energy cyclers naturally clash with what this deck wants to do, so we are running 4 Kogaflans. So, when this unit is discarded from hand during your ride phase, Soul Blast 1, put this unit on the bottom of the deck and draw a card. Auto. When this unit is placed on rearguard circle, if you Persona Road this turn, Counterblast 1, retire all of your opponent's rearguards in the same column as this unit. So I didn't say, but this is a grade 2 base power 10k standard stuff. We are in the grade 2s now. This card's really good to draw cards on your ride up. It's also part of the reason that we run Shinri's, because you got to replace the soul. But the other thing it's really good at is if you Persona Road for 1 CB, you can clear out an entire column of your opponent's units. Now, sure, you could EB3 to retire them, or you can CB1 to retire up to 2 of them with this, and then use the energy blast to scale your Vanguard's power. So it's double functionality. The CB1 to retire the column is actually very nice, especially if you're trying to push your game and you want big numbers on Vanguard. Next, we have the other name support that Wirbel got. This is Dragator Bishara. So when this unit is placed on rearguard circle, choose a grade 3 card with Wirbel in its card name from your ride deck, and you may reveal it. If you revealed a card or you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Wirbel in its card name, Counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's rearguards and retire it. If you did not retire a card, draw a card. And then continuous, this unit gets plus 5k for every Energy Blast 3 paid for the cost of the act ability of your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Wirbel in its card name. So 2 things to go over here. The first one is, this one is essentially on play CB1 draw a card if the board is empty, or on play CB1 retire a unit. I typically like to go for the card draw, but if you were going for game and you want to scale your Vanguard more, you can slam this CB1, retire their unit, and then put more power onto your Van by doing his Energy Blast skill. That's up to you. It just depends on the situation. What I really like about him is his continuous. Every 3 energy that you blast for your Vanguard's ability, he gets 5k. So if you do, if you go second and you're at 9 energy on your grade 3 turn, that's 3, that's plus 15. If you slam any of the Mass Bullets of Duststorm to energy charge 3 more, every time you slam one of those, energy charge 3, energy blast 3, you get another 5k on this guy. So I mean, If you're going second, you pretty much can give him a guaranteed 15k. And if you have some of the grade 1 energy charger in hand, you can scale that up even higher. This deck can push a lot of aggro out on its first grade 3 turn. It's really cool. Next, we run the 3 Persona rides of Wirbel. Self-explanatory. You need the Persona rides. You need Wirbel and Soul. You want the power. You want to close games fast. This is not a grindy deck. It does not play very defensively. That is all for the units. So next we have our order package. I run 4 Drag Resonance. So it is a grade 3 order, which we can grab off the grade 1 when checking top 7. And it says choose one of your Vanguards and it gets auto once per turn. When this unit stands, all your front rows get plus 10k till end of turn. So it basically, if you slam it on your first turn, you get a fake Persona ride on the second swing. And then if you already did Persona ride, you get 20k to front row, which is huge. I play this because I like to play this deck a lot more aggressively. I want to try and close out game as fast as I can, or at least retire their board with Wirbel and then eat up their hand, which is typically where it tends to go. I'll eat up their board and then eat up their hand guarding, and it's hard for them to recover from that. You just want to put pressure, pressure, pressure. Now, there's 2 other options here. You can run 4 Best Harvest if you want instead, if you really want to see your pieces and maybe grind out the game a little bit more. Or you can even do a 2-2 split. Now, if you do a 2-2 split, I would recommend changing Dragitter Nerman with Justina. That way you can dump whichever order you need for the situation, because they're going to be very situational which one you want to run when you're doing a 2-2 split. I would make that change. That way you can choose whether you want to farm hand with Best Harvest or go aggro with Drag Resonance. That's up to you. I like the 4 Drag Resonance because I want to just go phase and try and close out game as fast as I can. Next, for our Blitz order, we run 2 Defensing Roar. And I'm going to run 2 Defensing Roar until Bushy limits it in English, which hopefully they never will, but also I understand if they do because this card's actually insane. If you don't know what Defensing Roar does, you choose one of your Guardians without Sentinel until end of battle. It gets, when this unit is retired from guard circle, put the card into hand and shield plus 10k. So essentially if I put a 15k shield down and I slam this on it, it becomes a 25k shield, and then that trigger goes back to hand at the end of that guard step. So it lets you not only reuse triggers, but makes them bigger. It turns your over trigger into a 60k shield that you can put back in hand and use again that turn. It's part of why people want this limited in English, because over trigger Defensing Roar is an absolutely insane combo. But I'm gonna run it till I can't run it no more. Next, for the Regalis Piece, I run Protection Twin Cast. So it is a Blitz order. Choose one of your units being attacked and it gets plus 10k till end of that battle. But more importantly, it has an ability in the drop. When this unit's attacked, or when your unit is attacked, remove this card from drop. Choose one of your units being attacked, gets plus 5k until end of that battle for each grade of that unit. So essentially on your grade 3, you can just remove this from drop. Does not count as Blitz order per turn, so you can still use a Defensing Roar. And you give your Vanguard 15k. It's a little extra defense because the deck does not inherently have any extra defense. It does not draw a ton of cards. So sometimes you are fighting for your life. I would say the other option you could run if you're having trouble building a board is the Fire Regalis. I think they're both very valid. I just like the 2 Defensing Roar and the Twin Cast are pretty much my only defensive options in this deck. So that's why I'm still running that. It saved me several times from dying. So as far as I'm concerned, it is my go-to for this deck. But the Fire Regalis is also a very valid choice. Next, for our Sentinels, we are running 4 PGs. We run Twin Cast and we run 2 Defensing Roars in this deck. That is 3 Blitz orders. You do not want to be caught with your pants down holding an Elementaria and a Blitz order in hand and realizing you're now dying because you cannot guard all the attacks. If you are going to run that many Blitz orders, you need to run 4 PGs, no Elementarias. I promise you it will save you more often than it will get you killed by a triple drive. After that, we're running the standard 8 crit, 4 heals, and then for this deck, I was originally running fronts, specifically soul fronts, to try and be a little more aggressive, but I switched to draws, and it's honestly been amazing. draw triggers have come in clutch so many times. And they are still technically a 20k shield if you use Defensing Roar on them, although there's definitely better targets. But, you know, it kind of balances out the lack of shield having 2 Defensing Roars. I think draw triggers are the way to go. Again, this deck does not have a lot of inherent draw, so you need to get it where you can. And then, of course, for over trigger, we are running Drag Veda. If you don't know, Drag Veda has the standard 100 mil over trigger power, and then additional effect, choose one of your Vanguards and stand it. So if you check Drag Veda on your first drive, you'll restand with 2 drives. Now, if you check it on your single drive on the follow-up, he does get -2 drive till end of turn, and the Soul Blast 1 gives him +1 drive till end of turn. So if you check Drag Veda on your second one, you will restand with only 1 drive, but I mean, that is a 3rd Vanguard attack with a 4th drive check. It's still good. It's obviously better to check it on your first one, because then you get 3 Vanguard attacks with 5 drive checks. But 3 Vanguard attacks with 4 drive checks is also really strong. So Drag Veda is an insane OT. I know people complain about it, they want it banned, but it gives little guys like this a fighting chance. Although if you check it, your opponent will say you only won because of Drag Veda and this deck sucks, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. The deck, I originally tried to go first because I wanted to punch down, but going second is actually kind of insane. So depending on what kind of board they have, whenever you do your EB3 and don't retire something, if they're a grade 3 or greater, you get plus 10k to Vanguard, which scales up very fast. Not only that, but you'll have 9 energy on your first grade 3 turn because Wirbel does energy charge 3 at the beginning of your main phase. And if you can get any of your Ivrines down, I keep wanting to say Irving, it's IVR, not IRP. Ivrines down, then you can get even more energy blast out, scale your Vanguard up even more. And the fact is, when you're scaling an additional 5k on every 3 energy blasts, you're not going to miss that little bit of difference that you had when you were a 13k swinging to a 10k. It negates that difference. It is so negligible at that point. And then you play Drag Resonance, even bigger. And then, you know, put Bashara down, and it's just big. Going second just helps a lot because you get to draw more, so you can find all your pieces to try and just slam the perfect board on your first grade 3 turn. Just go face as hard as you can, and then hope they stay on the back foot till their next grade 3 turn, and then just finish them off on the follow-up with Persona Ride. So going second has definitely worked out a lot better for this deck. Opening hand, I typically keep Shinri because I want to try and draw cards and also build some soul. And also make it harder for them to guard my early game, because if I can get them to like 3 damage, 2-3 damage by the time I'm on grade 3, I can typically close games out, depending on their hand, of course. If I see a Nerman, I will keep 1 at most. Shinri, I will keep as many as I see. Nerman, I will keep 1 at most. It's just nice to guarantee that you find your order. Now, if you open Drag Resonance and Persona, you don't really need to keep Nerman. You can put her back. Ivrines and Bishara are typically snap keeps. I mean, you want them. They're your 2 pressure units that you want going into your first grade 3 turn. Pogaflan is also a good keep. Realistically, the only things you want to put back is sometimes I'll put back Persona Ride. Because I'll find it by the time I get to my second grade 3 turn. No worry, we draw and drive check enough. I wouldn't keep more than 1 Nerman. Irvings, I probably wouldn't keep more than 1 either. Ishara, I would keep up to 2. And then Drag Resonance, you can keep 1. The main things you're looking for is anything that'll let you draw those. So Shinri and Kogaflan should take priority, because you want to try and draw as much as you can before you get to grade 3 turn to try and find all your pieces. There's not really a ton of combos with this deck. The main combo you do have is the fact that Ivrine can energy charge 3, allowing you to energy blast 3 more, making Bishara just scale up in power like crazy. My final thoughts on this deck are, it's a very fun deck. If you're a Dragon Empire player, you should already have all the staples to build it. The actual Wirbel cards and Wirbel support are dirt cheap. So, I mean, it's going to cost you next to nothing to build this deck if you have the Koga Flams, the Nermans, and the Shinris. If you're not a Dragon Empire player, this deck is fun, but unless you plan on going into the nation, I can't suggest that you invest into Koga Flams, Shinris, and Nermans, just because it's going to cost you quite a bit for a deck that is okay at best. It hits very hard, but it does need a little bit of luck. So if you enjoy a fun deck that is just very aggro, very glass cannon, first grade 3 turn can just go face super hard, eat up your opponent's hand and board, and you're generally just a fan of Dragon Empire and its retire mechanics, this deck is definitely worth checking out. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I will have more deck profiles coming in the near future. I typically try and work on decks that I find fun, that are kind of rogue. They're not always great, but some of them are worth playing if you're in the nation, like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'm Connor Proto, and this has been another deck profile.